Okay, IT committee, July 9th, 9:39 a.m.
Young,
Yes.
Alex,
Yes.
Sure,
Yep.
Stigall,
Yes.
and Taggart.
Yes. Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. We have a motion to approve the agenda. A second by Mr. Bowers. All in favor? Aye. Public comments? Public? Mr. Tabor.
Good morning. Good morning. I had a couple items that we wanted to talk about that we discussed last month. I'll go through the list. First item was the recommended SAN server replacement. We typically recommend to replace this server device or start planning for it after 5 years. It's currently 6 years old. We discussed how the question of how long the warranty can be extended, and we checked into it. It's typically 7 years, so the warranty could potentially be extended for another year. And then we got pricing for replacement for that as well. I didn't print out a lot of copies, but here's a copy for you. So we put on the estimate of 50,000, but it's actually looking to be 27,000. So that includes the new piece of hardware, the labor for setup, and then other pieces of equipment to upgrading the other servers to complement it.
Now, Michael, with the SAN server, there was a question brought up in finance about the failed SAN controller battery.
Yes.
That'll be, that'll fix that issue,
Or
or is that a whole separate?
we'll have to backtrack a little bit, which
Okay.
I'm fine with doing. The SAN had a bad controller battery, and that was covered by warranty. So this, and I believe Adam took care of it on Tuesday, so there was no cost associated, but that's the benefit of having a warranty on that SAN, and that is a production server, so it's very important to have warranties. We recommend that. And so the battery went bad, and it was covered and replaced. No charge, equipment charges, and it was done on Tuesday, so no labor charges. Now, there was a bad battery on the backup server that doesn't have a warranty on it. It can if we want. It's just not a production server, so it never got a extended warranty put on it. And I think the battery, I'd have to look it up. It was like less than $100, and Adam got that replaced on Tuesday as well. So I'm not sure which battery they're referring to, if it is the SAN or the backup server. That could be a.
Well, what, and
If they're talking about a cost, then it's probably the backup server, because that did have a hardware cost.
It was like
And I-
1,500.
well, I see here that it's also included, that those invoices also include the update of the VMware and the virtual equipment. So
And that's another separent item as well. Yep.
Yeah,
So typically we recommend to update the virtual environment once a year, and we went ahead and did that last month, and that was a separate item.
so that 1,400 that was on there was combined invoices.
And then there was also a bad hard drive on the backup device, which is not covered by warranty, so that was a couple $100. I just emailed Jill as well. There's it seems like it's this time for the backup server. There's a couple more drives that are in the failed state that are needing replaced. We also emailed Jill. We're going off topic of the SAM, but it's pretty close on the topic. The storage on the backup server is getting low, so we'd recommend buying some additional drives to get some additional space, just to accommodate growth of all the backups.
And that was the $109 that was quoted, right?
I'll
Am I
pull it
thinking of
up.
the right one?
Sent you a bunch.
I know you did.
So we have a couple of maintenance items with hardware failing, and then some space issues that need additional hard drives to accommodate growth.
The failures were the 180, and these are all over at the courthouse.
So the backup server is at the courthouse, yep. And nothing's been purchased for the additional failed drives or the storage. So failed drives are 179, and there needs to be 2 of them.
And then the storage was the 290.
And then there was another failed backup on a separate piece of the backup that was 289. And then the storage is 109 times 2.
Yeah, okay.
So some pieces there. Hard drives typically have an average life cycle of 3 years, and the backup equipment is at 5 years. So it's not unexpected that we have some failed drives at this time of its life.
So,
Back to the
back to the
sand.
sand, we're 27,000, I think we need to replace that next year.
We do recommend that this is in the area of replacing it. It is a production device, so it's very critical to all the servers running. We do have some more time if we want to push it back, we can extend the warranty another year. The price is very good this year. Not that prices fluctuate all the time. I don't know if that has anything to take into consideration. But you do have more time left on it if we need to push it back.
What's the cost to extend the warranty?
It is, I'm ballparking off the top of my head, usually $1,500 a year typically.
So we're looking at $1,500 a year versus $27,000 if we do it now.
Yep.
But we can only do it 1 year, right?
1 year. That's for
Yeah.
1 year.
You said they'd only give the extended warranty up to 7 years, so we
Yeah.
got 1 year.
You have 1 year. You
We
do
can
that.
kick it down the road with 1 more year.
Yeah, I would have to check, but the sand was purchased with either a 3 or 5 year warranty, and then the county's been extending that warranty so it can cover any hardware failures each year, and it's been roughly that amount.
And we can only do that 1 more year.
That is what the vendor is telling us that we're sure of. Yes.
Okay.
Are you saying there's a possibility of extending it another year beyond that?
There could be, but no one's sure. And you could continue to run it without a warranty. You just run the risk not a piece of hardware fails, and that piece of hardware might be hard to find, or it might be expensive, or you can't find it, or everything's down until you do find that piece of equipment. So that's
How
again,
old's the age of the backup one or compared to that one?
the backup equipment. So the servers that back up all the production servers are 5 years old. Yeah. There's a
Well, they're
multiple.
newer than
They're newer than the SAN, and the SAN holds all the data. And then you also have servers that run off the data. The servers, I believe, are 4 years old. So there's a little bit of everything's not the same age, but that's pretty typical.
That's right.
Yeah, it's basically budget.
Given the budget issues, I could probably look towards extending it, but unless somebody feels that has any other strong opinion.
And as far as how it's been running over the past 6 years, I think the battery's been the only thing that's died. And batteries typically only have a 3-year lifespan, so it's meant for 6 years. So the unit has been running very well. That doesn't mean, what do they say about the stock market? That doesn't predict future
Yeah.
performance, but it has been running well.
Yeah. I would say, especially since we can give one more year, we'd probably just do that until we see what the total impacts of all this COVID stuff are, whatever.
Not only that, but I think the impact on our budget will maybe felt a little bit harder this year because even though the revenues next year may be reduced, the budget can be adjusted and taken into account and reflect that a lot better next year than what we had this year.
And I don't know if this impacts the discussion either, but the host servers, the other piece of the production, those will be recommended replacement in 2022. So just so we don't have too much of big expenses all together.
Okay.
On that.
What do those go for? How many?
You have two of them, so estimated to replace two of those is around 30,000.
Well, I guess we don't have to decide everything today, but we get a couple months here before that has to be finalized, so. See what
Next,
things
So
look
we
like.
need a motion to exclude that warranty.
It'd be a budgetary, we're covered through this year, right?
yep,
Yeah, that'd be
Yep.
for budgeting purposes.
Be for next year, be for the budget. We just need to decide what to put in the budget.
yeah, and you're currently doing that already, so you're not making any changes.
Okay?
The next item, John asked about information about document management, scanning in piles and piles of papers. I talked to our other project managers. The two pieces of software that we see in our other clients, especially in government, is Laserfiche and OmniPage. Those are two different softwares. So I contacted both of those vendors. Laserfiche hasn't gotten me pricing yet. That seems like the solution with all the bells and whistles, and most likely the more expensive solution. The OmniPage is more conducive to small and medium sized businesses. That, to get started for just one user to start scanning in documents, that's the software itself is $525. So not very much. You still have to put it on a piece of equipment or server. The scanner, depending on how the documents need to be scanned in, that is the other point. If the county wants to do something like this and they do truly have a room of paperwork, that you might want to look at a high-speed, high-volume scanner, and those start, or the one that we really like is $17,250 for that scanner. You don't have to use that one, but if you're going to be scanning a whole room of papers, it might be advantageous to get a high-speed scanner. So, but I can follow up more as Laserfiche gets back to me about pricing, but that's kind of what I have found so far about scanning documents and whatnot. And that solution would allow you to scan in your current documents and give you a platform to send digital documents instead of printing them out, and to archive and manage and trace documents, certain
The
documents.
same for the second one you talked about with
Laserfiche, yeah.
No, but
The scanner.
no, the $540 one.
Yep, they both do that, but OmniPage is more for a small and medium business. For if we want a full feature document management solution for a county, a government, I think Laserfiche has all the features that might be over OmniPage. So, and I haven't got a price for them yet. They started asking questions, and we scheduled a phone call with them, but they started asking how many departments we'll be using the document management solution. What documents will you be scanning in? So how many users will you be having access to the system and whatnot? But they had a lot of tools like being able to have a public side of the system, so and you can link it with your website, so the public side could search documents in the same platform, so you don't have to offload them to the website or anything like that. So they have, that's like the full solution of managing digital documents. So I can get, as soon as they get me some pricing, I can bring that up. But but hopefully that helps a little bit, because we're really just exploring the discussion at this point, as far as I know.
No, I think
It's definitely a problem, and it's probably a problem that's gonna come to the fore here in
Everyone's
maybe
going
in the next
digital.
month or so.
It's a good point, because everyone's going digital. In today's world, unless you need a paper copy, people shouldn't be printing out paper anymore. It's just hard
Right
to
now, our
manage.
health department is in dire need of more space, and we've got space in the building here that's only being used for storage. If we had that space freed up, it would answer the needs for the health department. So that's one part of the situation. But I think it all depends too upon a lot of these documents and records about how long we have to keep them. There's some of them, the health department, for example, has to keep for 99 years. And those keep accumulating every year, so the space required to keep them keeps mushrooming, so to speak. If they can be kept digitally, that certainly is a big plus for us, because right now we're calculating the cost of our space in this building at $9 a square foot. So if you got any place where you're storing equipment, multiply that area out by $9, that's what it's costing the county every year to be able to put that stuff there.
Well, if a person went this route right away, it would take quite some time to scan all those documents in, I would think.
We've had a number of customers with the same situation, and they buy they get the software, they get somewhere to store the documents, a storage device, either a server or storage device. They get a scanner, whether it be a high end or a medium or low end, and then basically they hire a temp agency or hire a person, and that's all they do for a year, 8 hours a day, is they scan in documents. So yeah, you have to have someone do it.
And the other side of the coin is that if we had something like that in place, we can get started going forward, then we don't have the problem.
Problem doesn't get
You mentioned
control.
we might not have to scan in the current documents, depending on the age. We could just start using this for new and future documents. So
And
that's a good point.
the documents that you have, if there's a desire to do that, there may be times when there's some time available in a particular department where they can say, okay, we'll go do this. All of these departments have situations like that from time to time, where they're not quite so busy and they can get caught up on things that they're behind with.
Yeah, the county doesn't necessarily need to hire someone for it.
I mean,
Make it
we
work.
could hire someone, but there's this other option that I think is available too.
Well, we'll wait to hear on the cost of the other one, but hopefully it's about the same as the $540 one. That'd be good.
Well, and that's for one instance of it. Like if you want to have 20 people with it, then you would take it times 20 or whatnot. So
That's with them.
yeah, but just that helps with ballparking and with the conversation.
So every department that would use this, it's gonna cost $540?
With this solution, every computer or server that you want to put it on is $500. And yeah, so, but I'll get the other pricing, we'll see.
It's a one-time deal.
Yeah, with the OmniPage, it's a one-time deal. They probably have a support contract for so much dollars a year to keep it up to date and whatnot, but
No, we don't have any of those.
everyone does that.
So are we talking about a scanner and a program for each department, or how's that work?
It really just depends. You might not need to buy a scanner, because all departments already have they usually have a device to scan in documents already. So maybe you just need the software. Yeah.
And or
there's
instead of
lots of
printing it
options.
to paper, you can print it to a PDF.
Yeah.
Then just save it in this.
What do you have in the finance department, Joe?
For a scanner, just our copier.
Does that work, that all you need is this software?
I would assume so.
Depends what you're scanning in and how much you're
Yeah.
scanning in.
I mean, I am in contact with, Chrissy from the state of Illinois, kind of going back and forth on what we have to keep and what we don't have to keep, so, and it's gonna be a process. She kind of figures it'll be a process for the next 5 years. With as much as we have for the finance department. I
For
can't
just
see
one
for the
department.
other. I know that Barb King has got, done working with her for probation. And Barb also said it took them between 5 and 6 years to get completed.
Does someone have to be here from the state to approve the disposal of certain documents?
No, they sent me, paperwork that people need to go through once we find the time to go through it and, list everything that we have stored. And then I would submit that, and then they would go through it and put their, input on there as to what we need to keep, what we can destroy, how long we need to keep it for, etc. And they issue a certificate, so then if that information were to get FOIA, we would get a certificate stating that it was approved for destruction, so.
It's like we need three things. One, to stop keeping paper records and going forward. So stop the storage problem and start digitally recording all this stuff. And then that, like understanding what we need to keep and what we don't need to keep, and get through that. That's a 5-year process. Like, we need it. Every department to be
Well,
working
and
on
there
that.
is, the trouble we're having in the finance department
Ideally.
is we're basically gonna have to work off of the treasurer's, list of items that they can keep, and I have detailed information in my office, but, and the county clerks. Now, the county clerks, I believe their last, approval destruction list was 2013, and
No.
the treasurer's office was 2008.
It was
So-
actually 2018, or 19. that we-
19, okay,
Yeah.
3 digits, okay.
We, like, the county clerk's office has a records disposal list,
Uh-huh,
and I think we're the only office in the county that had one. And ours dates back to like 1983, I believe. So we've been able to get rid of documents for the last 30 years or whatever. But there are documents that we have to keep, which we're working on converting, such as birth certificates and that sort of thing.
And that's that whole project of doing, I remember having Lisa explain that they did this many years and.
That was our microfilm for recording, and we're currently, images are back to 1990, and we're currently working on back indexing those, which that's a whole process in itself, but, it's very costly to do the microfilm conversion,
Yeah.
and so that's
I
the
remember
problem.
talking about that, yeah.
I guess one question is, what we're talking about here, would have benefit for you then?
The microfilm conversion, because of the, depending on the software, we need to, like, the company that has been doing our conversion digitally enhances the documents because they aren't perfect. So they get rid of any flaws that are in them because the microfilm is starting to deteriorate, so some of them we can barely even get a copy of. So if we were actually making the copy, it just depends on the software that is being used, if we can figure out how to digitally enhance them.
You know, the software and the scanner.
I can toss in a couple of cents. 911 has a similar process to what Jill's going through to destroy and or keep. I myself have not gone through that process, so I'm unfamiliar with it, but most of our documents are criminal history, so I don't know if we could put something into that, even if ETSB was interested in it. So we may be stuck to our paper, whether we like it or not. But it'd be a question for the state, for us.
That'd be a question for the Laserfish too, and see if they have that type of situation.
And also what level of security it's got on there.
Right.
As our documents, just like the health department, we've got a lot of stuff in there that cannot be made public in any way, shape, or form.
I'm sure it has a redaction tool, like our recording software does, so, because mortgages used to have social security numbers on them for some reason. So there are redaction tools on them, I'm sure. We used to have Laserfish in our office, actually.
All of our law enforcement people who went to courthouses probably have the same security issues.
Next item is just an update on email security, and there's no significant updates. We've been running KnowBe4, or Jill has been running KnowBe4 test emails to keep everyone on high alert and educated, and the spam email security, looking at the monthly review, no major issues or anything of note. Since we're talking about email security, the KnowBe4 yearly renewal is coming up. I'm not sure if that's still going to be covered by a grant or whatnot, but just wanted to be a reminder that's coming up in the next couple months to renew or not to renew.
I just got the quote the other day and it was for $2,400.
Are you still getting people, lots of people?
No, actually, they've done pretty well. I haven't done a customized one, in probably a month and a half. But as far as the generic ones that are going out, no, everybody's been, I've had one or two that may have clicked on it, but significantly lower than when we first started, for sure.
And I don't know if the grant's continuing to pay for that. I'm not sure how the continuation is going.
It was Lisa, so we sent her an email asking her about that and her input on, what we can do there, or we should continue it or not.
I have a copy of the hourly review of Area White's hours, in case anyone wants a copy. We've got some copies here, just in case anyone wants to look over that and review hours spent. We worked, next item is we worked with the health department. They had 2 servers that they weren't using very much, so we went ahead and worked with them so we could shut down. So they had 2 servers that had very low usage, so we worked with them to get that shut down, and that will cut costs on a monthly basis for the county. Next item is the Windows 7, the Windows 10 updates. The number's getting smaller and smaller each month. We're down to 18 workstations. 7 of those, the department has purchased extended security updates. So that means there's 11 workstations in the county that haven't been updated and aren't getting security updates. So that is a security concern, and something of note. So,
4 of them are mine, I'm working on them.
yeah. So, but the number's getting lower and lower, so that's a positive point. As far as server upgrades go, we're down to the CAD server, which we got pricing for, and we're working on them there.
I'm waiting on a quote from Central Square to find out what their half of the cost is going to be. I'm guessing it's probably going to be simply similar to your numbers, but still kind of waiting and seeing what they've got for numbers for me. Because they don't do that in tandem.
Hopefully, we're getting close.
Yes. The sooner the better, in my opinion.
Then I'm probably saying it wrong. The Villa server. We have pricing almost put together for that, but we're waiting on GovCollect. They are not being very friendly with returning my calls or emails. But I think we're going to wait to upgrade that server next fiscal year. I think we mentioned. I need to check in with Lisa about the Fiddler server. That is in progress of replacing their going to a cloud solution.
It's effective Monday.
Is it?
Past Monday, we've officially switched over, so it can be just decommissioned now.
Next Monday.
No, like just 3 days ago.
Okay, so we can go ahead and turn it off.
Yep.
We'll turn it off.
I got the official word this morning that she said that it is
Excellent.
official as of Monday.
So we'll turn it off, but if we need to what we usually do is we turn it off and wait a week, make sure no one screams.
Sounds good to me.
So that's what-
Just for that security.
So, and then we make a one-time backup of it as well before
Okay.
we delete it,
All right.
just for historical purposes.
Sure, perfect.
So we'll get started on that.
Awesome.
That's good news.
Mhm.
Next point, we've talked in the past about possible changes to the internet connection to save on monthly costs. I printed something up, but I didn't bring it with me, so I apologize. But so just wanted to review that discussion. We haven't made any decisions or whatnot. So currently, the county is paying AT&T for internet and phone services on a month-to-month basis, and that's around $2,000 a month for those for internet and telephone services. If the county wanted to lock in with AT&T, so basically make no or minor changes to internet service, that price would drop down to basically $1,400 a month, but that would lock in the county with a 2-year contract. Then we also talked about taking advantage of ICN, so switching from AT&T to ICN for the internet connection only, and keeping telephone services with AT&T. If the county did some combination of that, it would be about $1,000 a month. And then we also talked about the need for a new phone system for the county, as the current phone system is how many years?
I don't know.
Over 10 years old?
Well, the
Yeah.
issue is that Tim Goodman,
They
who was
don't
our
have
provider,
support.
he has retired,
Okay.
so.
I think last year we said the phone system would last another 5 years, or was it 2
Well,
years ago?
The cabling is what was the biggest concern, and as far as these phones, we have, there's parts available, I'm sure we could find.
It's
So
just
we have to
getting-
look for them, and as far as the programming and any technical issues, right now are currently being fielded through my office, so, just something to look forward to
Yep.
on the list there. And I
So-
got your crescendo updated, amounts for budget hearings.
So the phone system is working, but because of its age, we want to keep it on the horizon for the budget. We got a quote for some cloud phones. They have a special going on right now where you have to pay your first month, and then you don't have to pay until February of next year. Working with COVID pricing and everything. So I don't know if that would turn the tides for the phone discussion for this year, but if not, we'll talk about it again for the next fiscal year. But the phones could come and play with what service package you get, because if you can go with a cloud phone system, then you don't need to pay AT&T for phone services anymore. So those things come into play.
Is there a monthly charge per phone for cloud phones?
For cloud phones, yes. Yep.
And what is that again, roughly?
That is roughly,
You have here on this one that I'm looking at, Shundo monthly service is about $1,400 in total.
this quote that we have here is roughly $15 a month per
Yeah.
phone/phone line. We talked about maybe having fax lines for the county, but yeah. But in general, for a cloud IT phone system, you're looking at 15 to 20, 25 per month. And that includes the phone service, the whole gig. The phone system that the county currently has is an older analog system where there's a device that AT&T phone service comes into here in the building, and then it connects all the phones, and someone has to go over to the device and program it or configure it if they want to change how the phones ring or whatnot.
So how many phones do we have?
We have 102 phones, and I'd be really curious if we need all those phones. So currently you have 102, but do you really need 102 phones in both buildings? There's a phone right there.
Yeah.
So, and you currently have about 20 fax lines as well. And again, with the technology the way it is right now, most people have been going to cloud faxing. So you don't have fax machines or anything, you just do it all through email. And email can send the email to, if someone still has an old fax machine, it can send a secure email and it goes to their fax machine, instead of paying for a fax line, fax machine, and all that jazz. But yeah, so if the county can say, hey, we only need 75 phones, that drops the price even more.
Michael, that does not include.
And that does include all of our,
Sheriff, correct?
yep, it does not include 911 or sheriff, because they have a specialized system. This is just for departments in both buildings, excluding 911 and sheriff, so everyone but 911 and sheriff. And highway, since highway is in their own building. But highway could jump on the.
We just go back to like party lines or something like that.
And that have a switchboard.
Everybody just share,
Yeah.
put one phone in the middle of the room. Free you up for that?
Sure.
Well, how much call volume do you get coming in meetings? So that's the
You just need
internet.
a text messaging service.
When you talk
Do it
about,
from your computer. They just text you free and ask for their birth certificate.
We're online with that now.
when you talk about the number of phones that we have, that does not include like these renters and so forth, phones that they have.
Correct, it does not include renters, yeah, correct. So renters, highway, 911, sure. But, and then we talked about the, going back to the internet services, the county might not want to lock in for 2 years with AT&T if they're going to get a different phone system that might change the way AT&T builds them. Yeah.
So you said $1,000 a month for phone and internet services, but we want the bandwidth with ICN.
So if we switched internet to ICN, didn't do anything with our phones, then that's roughly $1,000 a month. I'm ballparking because these are old numbers, but yeah.
Is that 50 meg or 100 meg service?
50 meg, and the 100 meg service isn't that much more. Currently, the county has a 50 meg service. That's what they're running right now.
Do you ever have any problems with 50 meg?
Not that I'm aware of.
50 makes a pretty good service. It's a fiber service, so you get 50 up and 50 down. And we haven't seen any issues with bandwidth either.
So we're paying $2,000 a month now.
Month to month, no
Are you
contract.
saying that we could drop it to only $1,000 a month, or?
So if all we do is say AT&T, we want to lock in for another 2 years, we could drop it down to roughly $1,400, $1,500 a month. So that's a pretty good cost savings. If we want to go through the trouble, which there would be a transition time, there would be IT support costs to get everything switched over ICN. But if we switched over ICN, that would drop it down to about, and keep AT&T the way it is, it would drop it down even more to $1,000 a month.
So we'd say.
Because ICN provides internet connection with through grants. So because it's Iroquois County, they provide internet services at a discounted rate from AT&T.
So we save $1,000 a month.
800.
So we get both phone service and internet for $1,000.
And we gotta buy phones.
Well, the
Just
1,000
the internet.
is just keeping the phones the way they are. This that would just be, what do we want to do with our internet? Do we
So what do we do?
Why wouldn't we do
So, if we do
And
that,
how much are you gonna charge us to do that?
We will charge.
You're the problem.
No,
I mean, you're the cost, I mean, but obviously.
the
we're saving money.
upfront cost, yeah. So we'll have to make firewall changes and help with any troubleshooting. So it depends, but 10 to 20 hours of support.
So 2 months.
So $1,000 to $2,000.
Okay, well, I think we just plan
oh,
on doing that.
if we do that, then in 2 years or so, we put in new phones. Do that voice over internet, so AT&T's out of the picture completely.
Right. So if we do with the plan, we'll switch in ICN this year or early next year, and then new phones in 1 to 2 years. Then after, if you go with a cloud phone system, then you're done. You don't need AT&T for phone or internet. So, and just
Well,
Yeah, on the-
then we're.
What are we paying them for
Yeah.
just the, so if we go to ICM, we save $800 on the internet a month. If we get to no phones, what are we paying just for the phone part if we do that?
So the phone part is, this quote, this particular one, if you keep the exact amount of phones, is $1,400 a month. So that includes the phone
That's what we're
service.
paying right now for AT&T, or we'll pay.
So for AT&T, right now, you're paying $2,000 a month for internet and phone service only. So the phone system
Yeah,
and the phones, they've been purchased, and
Yeah.
there's no subscription or anything for those.
Right.
So if you did ICN and something like this quote, monthly cost would be around $1,700 a month. But then again, that includes internet, phone service, and the phone system.
okay, but versus, where are we at right now? Okay, so phase one, we go to ICM for the internet. How much are we paying AT&T every month for just the phone part?
Just the phone part, that is, in their, if we drop the internet connection, their phone part might bump up, AT&T, can do that. So if you drop the internet, the price I was provided through AT&T was about $600 a month. But that was 6 months ago. So again, that's an old number, but so for AT&T telephone services per month is roughly, let's say, $600 to $750 a month.
And the ICN bandwidth
Is around $325 a month. And again, that's a grant price, so that's why it looks so good.
Okay, so then phase two, if we went to internet phones.
Right.
We get rid of the 600, 750, whatever,
Exactly.
to AT&T, but it costs us.
But you would replace it with something else.
Right, but is there a monthly fee associated with the voice over internet?
$15 a phone.
$15 a month.
Per month.
So if we had 100 phones for $1,500.
And that doesn't mean you have to go with a cloud phone system. That is the way everything is going in technology-wise, but you could get another hardwired phone system. But there's that cost involved as well. Typically, the cloud phone systems over time is.
But that's $15 a month, and that's for the hardware, everything though.
Phone
Instead of buying
service.
it outright.
Yep.
If you go to a cloud phone or a voice over IP, obviously that's going to utilize bandwidth. What kind of bandwidth utilization do you expect out of something like that? I would expect it to be pretty minimal, but would they have to consider a bump in their bandwidth in order to accommodate?
With the county's internet service that they have right now, even with 100 phones, you wouldn't need a bump or anything like that. These phones and most cloud phones use a very, very small fraction of bandwidth nowadays. The key is having having good latency, having good service at the internet provider and at the phone. So the internal network bandwidth is not the concern nowadays. But if you were talking 500 phones, then we might be concerned with bandwidth. Good question. And they're also secure, the phone call and whatnot are encrypted.
So basically, at the end of the day, if we switched everything to ICN and the voice, that we'd be back at the same price. Maybe we'd be back to $2,000 a month.
We bought the VoIP phones.
If we had the VoIP phones and the ICN internet, we'd be back to what we're paying today. We wouldn't save anything, but
If we go to ICN and keep AT&T like we have it now,
Right.
we're saving
we're
thousands.
saving, yeah, exactly.
I mean, that looks like our best option.
Did the management
I bet
committee,
you we could buy a bunch of old rotary phones pretty cheap right now. Collectors items.
Let everyone
They
use
might have a premium now.
let everyone use their cell phones. Well, and you took a real hard look at the desk phones too. You know, can that number be cut in half? Does every desk need a phone? You know, and with cloud phone systems, you can incorporate people's personal cell phones. You know, depending on the department restrictions and whatnot. But you know, or use a computer to make a call instead of actual phone. There's lots of options nowadays.
Give them a headset.
Give them a headset. Yeah. I make most of my calls. I have a headset plugged in my laptop, and I make all my calls. I don't use my desk phone now. But again, I get off task. But there's opportunities to save with cloud phone systems by cutting how you use the phones.
So Michael, you're saying with if we go to ICN for internet and phone with our current phone system, it would be locked into AT&T for 2 years?
So I didn't ask if, it wouldn't be locked in with AT&T for
Okay.
the phone service only, as far as I know.
Okay.
They probably do have a 2-year package that would decrease the phone cost. And so we can get that information from them if we go phone only. They probably have a 2-year plan for phone.
I'm sure.
so you can get a quote for next month's meeting?
I can get these numbers updated.
Telephone only service from AT&T. Hard numbers from ICN were 50 and 100 megabit service.
Yep. So I guess we just wanted to, we talked back and forth about this, but it sounds like we're really,
We need it.
we really like the ICN option. So I'll get updated numbers from ICN and AT&T for phone only, and then we'll take a look at that.
So a 2-year quote on AT&T phone service and a month by month.
Yep,
Month to
we'll
month.
get both of those.
Sounds good.
The management committee didn't sign a deal with AT&T by any chance, did they?
We're under contract right now.
With AT&T phones?
Phones? Is that for a certain department or?
That's for, the county.
Oh, okay, so we do have a contract on the phone part. Okay.
But not
We have
the,
a year left,
Okay,
so,
but not the internet.
yes, as well. We have a year left on both. They both just got signed
oh, we did sign
a year ago.
Okay.
We had to.
a year ago. Is that 2,000 a month, is that old price then?
No, that's what we're currently paying.
On contract? Oh, but the contract, if we signed it last year and it was a year, it'll
Right,
come up.
it's coming up again, yeah.
So we can plan for it and make the change. Okay.
Exactly.
So we can't do anything right away.
We can't do it today.
Well, no, not today, but we're talking about next budget, so,
Yeah.
next year's budget, so.
Alright. So I'll get those numbers.
And I can get you the dates for sure when they expire.
Can you send me an email? Those dates?
Yeah, I'll send you a copy.
Other item on my list, unless you had the switch renewal, I don't know if you wanted to discuss that. There's a switch renewal for warranties.
Go for Dell.
For the Dell switches. And then we talked in the past about the Iroquois website, getting a new website. I didn't know if we wanted to discuss that today or later on in the future about if that would be included in next year's budget.
We need to talk about it today, if it's going to be next year's budget.
Well, the two switches renewal, that need to get approved, the cost is, $600 for both of the, Dell switches that need the support renewal. So,
Say the number again.
$600.
We need to approve that now.
It's a total of 600.
668.
Total.
And it's
Yeah,
for
each switch is
warranty- hardware
334.
warranty
Yeah,
support
it's,
in case anything goes wrong with the switches.
anything that goes wrong with those switches.
Next day replacement.
I make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion to approve that. Send the warranty on the switches. Second. Take the roll call.
Young,
Yes.
Bowers.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Stigmeyer.
Yes.
McTaggart.
Yes.
And then as far as the no before renewal, I'm gonna continue, or I'm gonna discuss with Lisa and I'll get back to you on that one. That was not quite new yet.
How do you guys feel about this LB4, whatever, the spam email?
I've been hit once with an oops. To be honest, I haven't taken any of the educational courses, gone into it to read through them. Most of that's just handing facts. I think it's good for the rest of the office. Joe has found plenty of issues in the past, so I think it would still be worth your while to make sure that education is there. I mean, short security.
Now, that was paid for by a grant, right? Presumably,
We hope to continue
Yeah,
to pay
I'll
for
go
the
check with Lisa to see if it's still.
We actually have another grant.
Do you? Okay.
It was just confirmed, and I can't remember the total amount. I think it was close to 14,000 that we received for a HAVA grant that could
Okay.
pay for it. And
it does seem like.
Jill, you've caught several offices. I can't remember what the email was, but you got some people
Oh, yeah,
really
I
good.
Well, and the numbers have
Custom
improved
ones
in the
out.
last
Yes,
couple of years here.
yes.
They have.
There in the beginning, we had piles of people.
Like I said, the
Caught now.
generic,
Right.
It has worked, I think.
yeah, like the auto send generic ones that go out, I really only catch maybe one or two, but when I do a custom one, I get quite a few.
But you said this last custom one you did wasn't as bad, or it's improved or no?
It's improved, but yeah.
And I'd love to see the departments take, when, everyone's busy, but take more advantage of the training modules, so that value is there.
It does seem like it's helping. I mean, if the numbers are going down, that means
You
people
need
are
to find out who
becoming
the
conscious.
people are that got spammed, because some of them are doing it on purpose.
Well, I let the, when I send out the results, and I know I haven't done one in about a month and a half, everybody's been a little wound up with COVID, but, when I send out the results, I do let each department head know if they'd like to contact me individually to find out the persons that clicked, that I would tell them individually, but I didn't really think it was something I needed to put out on blast for everybody to see, so.
Okay, well, we'll find out about that. As far as the website goes, we still talking, your numbers are still 30 grand or more, or what was the last week? Remind me.
So
I
we
remember
got,
the numbers were big.
we got three bids. The first one was the biggest, so that one's out. They had, you know, everything included, but it just wasn't in budget. The next item was for area-wide to basically take the website that the county has and make very little changes, but get it on a new website and secure and updated. And that is 21,000 for that project, 21,875, and because we haven't found any good way to manually or automate the transition. So basically, we're a group of techs would be working line by line, transferring that data. So that is the second quote for area-wide to put in the man hours to move current website to new backend. The other quote we got was from Civic Plus. This is a company that the only thing they do is do websites for county government, and their one-time cost is $21,900. But this would be a brand new website with a lot of features, options to add additional features like ADA compliance. But they also have a yearly cost, a subscription cost to keep it up. Included with that yearly cost is free updates for as long as you continue paying the subscription cost.
What's the
like every 5 years you can get a brand new website. What's the yearly cost?
There's one thing we talked about, I think, I don't know, it's been a while ago, but the problem I thought we had with all the quotes was we were going back and pulling everything that's on there, and we kind of agreed that we don't need all that historical stuff, or a lot of that historical stuff. It's not needed, maybe the election results and all that kind of stuff, yes, but like the announcements that the roads are closed back in 2006 or something, I mean, during a certain week and that kind of stuff. There's a lot of stuff on there that we didn't really need, and the quotes assumed we were moving everything.
One question that I had about that was, there's no way we can remove that old stuff ourselves?
Well, yeah, I mean, what should we do? For sure, but like,
We could put it out.
if that makes a substantial difference.
I don't know if there has to be a disposal certificate for that, as far as anything taken off the website. That's why stuff hasn't been taken off.
We do it our.
Maybe we shouldn't put anything on.
I don't know.
Just,
Yeah.
it's still
Then we don't
going
have to
to.
get a
Yeah, I
certificate.
know.
Yeah,
We can get rid of the website.
with area-wise, we did limit the number of pages and whatnot, but I mean, the more we can cut, the lower the cost would be. The Civic Plus was a yearly, rounding up 6,000 a year for recurring costs.
I think probably the biggest issue we have to look at is the ADA compliance part of it.
That was one of the nice things about Civic Plus. I mean, area-wide, of course, can help, but, you know, they do that all day long, so they know.
We do have an individual, I don't know if he's mentally disturbed or not, but he's come to the management committee about some issues recently and hasn't brought up anything about our website. It's just certainly a possibility. Somebody's liable to raise issues
I'm
about
not
it.
trying to be a smart ass, but how do you make a website ADA compliant? What do they mean by that?
So, like if there's a picture on the website and your mouse hovers over it, it'll give the description of the picture. Or if your mouse hovers over it, the speakers will, speak the text or speak the description of each pictures, and you can have websites that are only, you can click a button and it changes it from color to black and white for people that have color vision issues. I mean, there's a whole gamut of adjustments for people with different disabilities.
Did not know that.
So are there other companies like Civic Plus that you can check with? Is that the only one you check with, or?
Well, we checked with Pixo here in Champaign, that was the higher one, and there probably is. Civic Plus is the one that some of our other clients that are government entities use and are happy with. But yeah, I mean, there's others around, and I can have area-wide rework the quote again with less pages too. So, I mean, area-wide, we do a lot of web page work as well. So if we want to cut down what we put on it, that would cut costs as well.
$6,000 annual fee seems pretty steep for.
Yeah.
It's steep compared to what you guys are what you have and what you're currently using. But it depends on, do you not have the things you need right now to prevent getting sued or provide the services that you need for people using the website. So
There's nothing even on there to, I'm missing something, I mean, I'm sure we could put more stuff on there, but right now,
departments are asking to put more on the website. They want to be able to utilize it more for sharing documents and information.
need some automation fees, Brady.
Need to have some recording.
What was it?
Need recording.
Okay,
But
I don't know what to say on that, other than,
I think we should put it on.
I guess we'll continue to talk about it or see if we, I don't know, Joe, you seem to know some stuff about this. You got any ideas of what we should do next, or where we should look, or people we should get a quote from, or?
I can keep looking around and keep brainstorming.
It just seems like a lot. If it was 20 grand, had covered. To pay 22 grand and then 6 grand a year to, on top of it, easy peasy.
Yeah, the boilerplate type Civic Plus thing's fine, but somebody had a cheaper maintenance fee than that, if you can.
I can go back to them and say, hey, this is the boilerplate quote you gave us. What can you guys? Let's do something different. So yeah, and I'll go back and I'll rework the area-wide one, and I'll rework Civic Plus, maybe see if there's other ones out there that I haven't found yet. So I'll rework it and see if I can come up with some exciting updates.
What happens if you have Civic Plus do the work and then you refuse to pay the yearly maintenance?
The way they do their website is, the website is hosted on their servers or whatnot. So if you don't pay them, they turn your website off. Currently, the county's website's hosted on Bigfoot hosting. So as long as you keep paying them, nothing gets turned off.
Probably like $6 a month or something. Most of those
$250.
GoDaddy.com are pretty
Yeah,
cheap.
it's
Around $250 or $300 a year. So, but they're not doing any work, they're just hosting the website.
Mhm.
Now, we did have an instance, because of the security issues, where the website got hacked and they turned the website off until we fixed the issue. And again, that's the primary reason why we're having that discussion, and then the ADA compliance and other things. But I'll rework it, see if I can bring back some good news.
It isn't that we don't want to do it, it's the money part.
Yep. Cool. That's everything on my list.
Okay. I guess, any old business or new business anybody has? If not, we'll
I
adjourn.
move to adjourn.
Okay, second. Bowers, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.